Okay, so as you guys can tell by the title, in this video we're going to be talking about whether or not Garou could reach God level in the manga version of One Punch Man. Now, of course, this is more like, will Garou be portrayed as stronger in the manga than the webcomic? So I guess we're just going to have to talk about that in this video, because I'm sure that's a question I know pretty much a good portion of you would like to know, and I'm just going to be giving my opinions and thoughts of and kind of what I think could happen in in terms of how strong Murata and One are going to make Garou in the manga. But of course, before we get into all that good stuff, make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel, because I am crazy for One Punch Man, and for the past week I've just been talking about One Punch Man, and I just absolutely love the series. So if you like One Punch Man as well, then I do suggest you subscribe to the channel, because there's a lot of that over here. But apart from that, let's just get into the video. Now, let's just start off with, I guess, if Garou could reach, I guess, even surpass the strength of Boris in the manga version, because I'm not too sure, but in my personal opinion, I feel like the webcomic version of Awakened Garou is definitely still top 2 strongest in the series, but I still am not convinced that that form of Garou could beat Meteoric Burst Boros. And I feel like maybe the manga version can portray the things that Garou did in the webcomic as even stronger, and maybe change the whole fan base's perspective on how strong Garou truly is, and pretty much whether or not he's stronger than Boros, who is still kind of I guess the strongest villain we've seen so far in the series, or even the strongest character we've seen so far, apart from Saitama and God, of course. But now, I kind of want to talk about how Murata and One could change the things that were done in the webcomic that are going to happen in the manga. Now, first of all, I want to talk about Garou's perfected Godzilla Fist. Now, I feel like the Godzilla Fist in the manga is going to have a lot more collateral damage. We're gonna see maybe the floor break apart and turn into a whole crater, and I feel like it would be a lot more crazy in terms of how it looks. I feel like the webcomic didn't really do it justice. Well, I mean, the webcomic's art is obviously not as good as the manga, so it's not it's kind of expected that the webcomic would be a lot more underwhelming. Now, don't get me wrong, the webcomic's version was definitely still very cool, but I feel like the manga is going to do it a lot more justice, especially since we have a kind of good idea of how strong Garou is supposed to be, and how strong Awakened Garou is probably similar to Boros, to be honest, high above Dragon, maybe pushing low God. So I feel like the Godzilla Fist is definitely going to be something that is going to surprise a lot of people when it comes to how it looks and the damage it's going to do to the surrounding areas. I'm pretty sure the S-Class are going to have to evacuate, or are probably going to be put into a lot of danger when the Godzilla Fist is performed, because that attack is something that I'm expecting to cause literal natural disasters like earthquakes or something. But of course, I kind of want to talk about, I guess, Saitama's moves as well. Now, I feel like Saitama's moves and how Garou, I guess, reacts and I guess deals with Saitama's moves is also going to dictate whether or not he deserves to be God, or whether or not he's going to be stronger than in the webcomic version, or rather whether or not he's going to be perceived as stronger in the manga version than the webcomic. And I feel like if Garou survives this, well, he is obviously going to survive, but if he's able to counter the serious table flip from Saitama, or rather not really counter it, but be able to deal with it without taking too much damage, that would again be another crazy feat, because we know that the serious table flip is one of the strongest things we've seen in the series, period. This is one of the strongest attacks from Saitama. Even though it is kind of like a gag, I feel like this serious table flip is going to, I guess, send Garou and Saitama both to the moon, or maybe even just in space, because this serious table flip is obviously going to have a lot. I feel like it's going to be changed from the webcomic, because in the webcomic we didn't really see how far Saitama did this. It was pretty weird. It was pretty confusing, to be honest, because I wasn't too sure where they were, but it was kind of implied that they were just extremely high up in the air. And I feel like once this serious table flip is performed in the manga, we're gonna see like some Dragon Ball Z type of fighting, them just literally zooming around in the middle of space and literally attacking each other. And obviously no one is able to see them because they're too fast, and because they're in space. But of course we're gonna be able to see this, and it's just gonna be completely crazy. And if Garou is able to come back down to earth with little damage, then that of course is another very impressive feat, which also would, I guess, be taken into account when we're talking about how strong he is, or whether or not he's closer to god level than Boris. Now, I absolutely love Garou. Like, personally, I love the guy. He's one of my favorite characters. Also, Boris is one of my favorite characters. But personally, I would like to see a new character take that top spot for, the strongest in the series. And I really do want Garou to take that spot away from Boris, because we've been talking about Boris for years now. And I guess Boris's era has pretty much passed. And don't get me wrong, I love the guy, but I feel like we need a new character to be the figurehead of like the strongest being apart from Saitama and God, of course. And I feel like Awaken Garou might just take that space, because the manga is going to portray Garou's feats in a completely different way to the webcomic. I can pretty much assure you that. And the way it's portrayed is going to affect the way that we see Garou in terms of strength, because as I said, once all of these crazy moves are performed in the manga, and the way Murata is going to draw this is obviously going to be crazy. Like, we're going to see collateral damage left and right. We're going to see literal a worldwide scale of damage be performed in this fight. And I feel like obviously Garou is going to be a lot stronger in the manga than the webcomic. Don't get me wrong, as I said before, the webcomic is good, but the manga is definitely going to portray Garou as closer to God than maybe even Boris. And if you guys have been on the channel for long enough, you guys know how much I love Boris. I'm pretty much like a Boris simp. I feel like Garou could just be the person to take that top spot away from him. Now, of course, if I was to come to my verdict, there's a pretty good possibility that Garou could, straight up reach God, or be stated as God, or I guess be implied to be a god. I'm not too sure if they're going to straight up say he's God, but I feel like there's going to be heavy implications that he could be, god level at this point. And I feel like there's a good 80-70% chance that this could happen. And I just have to wait and see, because currently we are getting to the climax of this arc, and I honestly just can't wait to see this. I just want to see Garou in action and see all of these crazy things that happen in the webcomic happen in the manga and be done to a better degree. But apart from that, that's pretty much it for this video, to be honest. If you guys liked the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe to the channel if you are new. And apart from that, I will see you in my next video.